It's day 25 of my Achilles rupture, and in the last few days I've been upgraded now to a space boot. I've had a couple of days since the last update, a couple of days still in the cast, and a couple of days, this is now day 3, so the second full day in the new space boot. When I was in the cast, I did start some resistance training, did start some leg extensions, found the lowest resistance weight pin I could use, and just really tried to concentrate on not tensing my entire leg, including the calf muscle. Just really concentrate on the movement coming from the quads. And that was nice. It's good to get a little bit of weight in there, good to get that kind of feeling, that lactic acid build up, to try and reduce and reduce the muscle atrophy that is going to be occurring. The blood pooling problem I was having after my last update, that's got a lot better. You can still see when my feet are down for a while, there's a difference in the colour of my toes when I was in the cast. You could see that the blood just wasn't quite moving as much, but it wasn't painful. I couldn't feel it throbbing. That could be, in my theory, one of 3 things. One of the things I was told is that my blood thinning injections, I don't have to take them in the stomach. I can take them in the leg, which for me is a lot more comfortable than taking it in the stomach. In the stomach, it bruises quite easily, and I have to find different sites. It kind of stings a lot. The needle isn't too bad. You can tell where, like, I've injected before, it's bruised and it's covered again, because it's just a bit thicker, it's a bit tougher to get. There's a little bit of a, sort of, you put the needle in and there's that resistance, and then pop, and then it slides in and fine, we're good. Whereas sites that I haven't injected in, just sort of, there's a little bit of pressure and the needle just slides in pain-free. In my leg, for me, oddly enough, my right leg, but not my left leg, oddly, it's a lot more manageable. I can put it in, the sting is a lot less. So it could be that the blood thinning injection chemicals formula, what's in it, is just getting into my system better. Possibly. It could also be the reverse of that. It's actually getting in worse. My body's just regulating the blood flow anyway. Because it could be that the blood thinners actually make my blood too thin and it's just dipping down. I don't know, maybe. That level of medical science is a bit beyond my pay grade. However, that could be one option. Another is just that my body's just getting used to it. It's just regulating. Well, anyways, so I was in the cast. Over the period of about 2 days, I went from when my leg is up and in a rested position, and then standing up, it would, seconds be throbbing and painful, and I'd have to stop, put my leg up again, or I'd have to sort of gradually lower my leg over a period of like a minute or 2, and then be able to stand up, and even then it was a couple of minutes I could be upright before it starts to hurt. But then over the course of 2 days, it just sort of stopped. A little bit of throbbing, but I could just put my leg down, get up. As with crutches and on one leg, get up as best I can. The fact that happened so quickly makes me think that actually it might not be my body just regulating itself, because it also happened to coincide with when I've started to exercise again. It was a Monday when I started exercising, started doing some resistance training. I've kind of flipped my workout schedule around a little bit. Just got some upper body work in. And that was okay. But then the second day I started to get some mace work back in. So seated on a box, just some 360, just getting some movement in. Longer duration, less intensity, more cardiovascular training. And on that Tuesday, it stopped. That blood pooling effect stopped. Is that because my heart rate's up, I'm circulating blood a bit better, blood flow, vasodilation, all that stuff, and it's just helping it? And since then, it hasn't been too bad, which is good. Problem is, I can't really decide if it's just my body regulating itself. Is it because I'm now taking injections in another site, which is more comfortable for me, whether that means it's actually getting into my system better, and or because it's exercising. I am tempted to say, or maybe it's just me being biased, looking for reinforcement bias, is that it's the exercise. Because I started the injections in the leg just after surgery, because that's when they told me I could do it. And I still had issues, blood pooling just after surgery. But then again, I also had a big surgical wound at that point. So which one's which? Because it'd just be inflammation at that point. The body regulating itself, I can feel things getting better by the half day. You know, I'll start off in the morning quite, I'll have a pain, a bit of throb in my foot, whatever. By the end of the day, it's a bit better, and then also by the second half of the day, it's a bit better. Usually by the evening, it's hurting again because I've spent a lot of time on my foot, whatever. And then the next day, it's better still. I can feel it. Every half day, it's just a little bit better, a little bit better. And I didn't really feel that with blood pooling. It was just sort of, one day it was there, and the next day it was just a lot better. Which coincides, coincidentally or not, with my exercise regime that I've now started. That's one thing. With the cast and the blood pooling's now better. The end of the cast phase wasn't too bad. I did get cold feet quite a bit, so I had to go and find some socks that ran over the cast. Other than that, the cast ended up being all right. Started doing things like kneeling on the floor, trying to get some movement in, so especially like my HEMA training, my longsword training, just kneeling, just getting some movement, getting some reaction training on the blaze pods, trying to do something, trying to focus on what I can do, not reminisce on what I can't do. Just get that movement, keep going, keep trying to train anything, everything, just keep in the game. Now, Monday, I got upgraded to my new space boot. It's a lot bigger, it's a lot bulkier, it's heavier, it's warmer, definitely, and just so happens that now the weather's getting warm again. So space boot Monday, got the stitches out, got the sutures out, told all was good, the wound's healing nicely. I have been making an effort to, I say keep it clean, but reduce the sweating where I can, trying to keep the foot elevated, do what they're telling me to do. And fortunately, it's come out, it was fine. The stitches was nowhere, the sutures being removed was nowhere near as bad as, well, it wasn't even bad, I didn't really notice it, to be honest. I thought I'd feel the stitches being tugged and pulled, and I could feel the thread going through the skin. No, I just felt like a little, ever so slight tug as each one was snipped, and that was it. Didn't really feel it again. Actually, the most painful part was when the nurse went to just clean the wound. So there was a bit of blood around. She went to clean the wound with some antiseptic wipe or something. I couldn't see because I had to be facing away at the time on the side, so I couldn't see. That stung a bit, but otherwise we're fine. Then there's been a big plaster stuck on the back of it, and I've been refitted back into my boot. Unfortunately, I did see the wound, but I didn't manage to get any photos of it whilst we were in the area. My wife was with me. The assisting nurse said there was no photos in the area, so I'm sorry. Haven't been able to get a photo of it just yet. It might be a bit gruesome for YouTube anyway. It didn't look pretty. It's throbbing a bit at the moment, and that's because I'm partially weight bearing now. So with my crutches and the boot, I can now start putting weight down. So my foot is throbbing a bit, it aches, but it's nothing untoward. Yeah, I am sort of going a bit, how much weight can I put? I can put quite a bit of weight through my crutches, through my upper body, but how much can I actually put through my foot? They didn't really say, they just used crutches and partially weight bearing. So it's something where I'm going to try and ease and put a little bit more on, just test the waters a little bit. Because it is painful, it's a bit odd that I don't yet know how much pain is too much pain. It's uncomfortable, it's throbbing, it stings a little bit from time to time. I've just got to take it steady. I've just got to try and feel instinctively what's too much and what's not. Yesterday, like last night, by the end of the day, I needed to put my foot up. I'm now sat a lot more. I haven't got to be here with my foot up as much. One, because the blood pooling isn't anywhere near as bad, and two, because I'm now trying to put some weight through it. Because I know getting that weight through the tendon is going to help the fibres align. And also help just a little bit of muscle development where I can. I'm a little bit more confident with tensing my calf, so what I've now decided to start doing is whilst I'm brushing my teeth, is I'm sat on the edge of the bath because I can't really stand yet. Although I'm weight bearing, I kind of don't want to be standing for too long. So whilst I brush my teeth, I just sit there and just flex my calf. Just little bits, little bits. Little bit of a squeeze, little bit of relax, little bit of a squeeze, little bit of relax. Just try and get some stimulus through the calf muscle, because if I can try and reduce the atrophy in the quads and the hips and the glutes and whatnot. The calf muscle is not a lot I can do about it. So trying what I can, trying to do what I can. Now, because I haven't got any actual physiotherapy yet, I'm not pushing it too much. I'm only doing some little calf tenses whilst I'm brushing my teeth once a day. The leg exercises I'm doing, so leg extensions, donkey kicks, abductor and adductor raises, followed by some prone hamstring curls where I can. I'm just doing that once a week at the minute because I don't want to exaggerate anything too much. Obviously, in the ideal world, when you start talking about hypertrophy and whatnot, you want to be doing that 2-3 times a week because you haven't got the resistance, probably even more. What else is there? Oh, yeah, that was it. One of the handy things for anybody else who is going through an Achilles rupture as well is get one of these platforms. Now, one of these platforms on the base of your shoe. As anybody who's been following the channel know, I'm a barefoot advocate. I do still have some actual running shoes, some shod running shoes from way back when. There's nothing particularly wrong with them. So I just kept them just in case. And lo and behold, just in case has helped. So I'm keeping these, one, because they lift my heel up ever so slightly to balance me out. And then with the platform as well, that just bumps me up a little bit more. With the, let me see if I can take it off. There we go. The wedge comes off this boot as well, makes sleeping easier. With the wedge being as it is, I'm still a bit high. I see the platform doesn't even it out, but it does make things better. I can definitely feel it when I do take my shoe off way back at home. With the wedge, or sorry, with the platform, the little sandal platform, it makes getting around a little bit easier. I can feel that's going to save my hips a little bit more. And especially when the wedge gets lowered, so there's a thinner wedge I've got on my pack, that will probably even out a bit more, but that's also the time when I can start being full weight bearing as well. If you are going through this, I got mine off Amazon, 35 quid, something like that. I can definitely feel it's a bit better. The only slight issue is with the big sandal is I find I catch my feet quite a bit more. Not the end of the world. I'm getting used to it. I'm only in day 2 fully of it. It's a lot better. Something I have noticed now is I can definitely travel a lot further. When I was non-weight bearing, just on my crutches in my cast, I couldn't go that far. My hands would hurt, my arms would hurt, shoulders would hurt. Now, however, it's a lot better. I managed to traverse from the fracture clinic down to the pharmacy, which is in a different wing. Got to the pharmacy, they said it's 40-minute wait. Wife was hungry, so then we went to the hospital cafe, which is then back the way we just came, then we had to come back again and back. Anyway, and then we had to get to the car park, which unfortunately we went at a busy time, so we had to park really far away. And I just about managed all of that, which is a lot better. So that means that potentially things like escorting my wife when she goes shopping might just be possible, which is gonna save my mental health, I think. As much as I know a husband going shopping with their wife, but for me especially, I'm out of Netflix now. Yeah, I enjoyed it when I enjoyed it. I made the most of it when I started sitting there, got through a couple of TV series, a couple of films that my wife doesn't like and she won't watch with me. So, I've got a telly fully to myself I could watch. I'm bored of that now. I really am. So I'm the mind, I've got to be doing something. I'm not someone that can binge watch TV series. I watch an episode, maybe 2 at a push if I'm really into it, but then I need to get away and do something else. And there's only so much Netflix I can watch, or Amazon, or Disney, or whatever. Reading as well. When I want to relax, I can read. However, when my mind wants to get going, I can read a page. I just can't focus on it. I need to put it down and do something else. And there are physical jobs stacking up. So in the gym, I've got a sled track that needs doing. I was going to do it the week my Achilles got ruptured. I just sat there doing nothing, and it's bugging me, and I really want to get on with it now, because now it's been sat there for 3 weeks at a point where it's unusable to anybody. the carpet's ripped up, so we can't use it. That's a space a big space, so 24 meters squared in the gym that's just unusable, doing nothing, and it's just looking horrible. There's physical jobs at home that need doing that we can't really do at the moment, or things that need carrying and moving around, but again, I still can't do it, and they're stacking up. So I'm eager to get going. However, I know from wisdom, from experience, from working with other clients, from my own injuries and whatnot, I've just got to keep hold of it. I started reading a couple of studies on a 4-strand repair, because I still don't know what a 4-strand repair is yet. That's what was done to my Achilles. I started reading some things, and there are notes in there with like re-rupture rates. But surprisingly enough, the studies that were done at saying that re-rupture rates occurred weren't through failure of the surgery. It's through people tripping over things, whatnot. But all of them, from the studies I've read, I haven't read all the studies yet. From the studies I've read, is that these people have slipped, fall, done something without their protective boot on. So it's going to be important for me to stay in the protective boot, because I say fall down the stairs, I slipped down the stairs. Fortunately, I had my protective boot on. I slipped down the stairs. One thing I went to, as I put my foot out to stop me, and at the time, fortunately, the weight of the boot took it for me. It hurt. I had to stop for a bit and just let the pain die down to know if actually anything serious had happened. Turns out not, because within a couple of minutes it had gone, and I didn't feel any lasting effects. I've rambled on a bit there about the update, and hopefully you'll stick around and we can do what's coming next. So next week, I'm in the boot for 2 weeks, partially weight bearing, so there won't really be any major updates until a fortnight's time when I can start to be fully weight bearing, but perhaps I can let you know more about how my training's coming along. So I'll leave you at that, and I'll see you next week, and hopefully a bigger update in a fortnight.